What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's having a great day right now, because I'm sure if you are a bull in this market, you're having a great day. We are seeing a major positive reaction after that FOMC meeting, which I was expecting. I wasn't expecting it to be positive. Well, I was, uh, for the most part. But we did get that huge move today. I'm going to talk about why this move is very important here. What to be looking for. If this is a fake out above 100K, how to tell for the most part, how to get probabilities in your favor. All right. We're also going to be taking a look into some altcoin setups. We're going to be taking a look into Polkadot. We're going to be taking a look into Turbo. And I am going to be doing a technical analysis request for one of my subscribers. It's going to be on Loopring, which is LRC USD. See what is going on in this market. Now, if you guys are new to my channel here, you guys should know that I dive deep into the charts every day and look for moves before they actually happen, right? Because let's face it, that's a lot less riskier than chasing pumping green candles. Like this candle right here, I'm waiting for a retest of some sort before actually opening any other positions, at least leverage positions. But that is just me. None of what I'm saying here is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, just some dude trading crypto, sharing my thoughts on the internet. Now, if you guys also have any technical analysis requests, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I will pick one technical analysis request every day for any altcoins, any markets, really, and I will do it for you. Okay, I'll pick one every day, so just make sure to drop like, comment, subscribe. All right, let's go ahead and check out what's going on here in the markets. Yesterday we had that FOMC meeting. No rate decreases. That was kind of expected. If you guys follow the CME tool, CME watch tool, which is CME, I think it's CMEgroup.com. That's a pretty accurate tool. Okay, that is one of the few macro events I pay attention to, right? We didn't get any kind of decrease or anything. So, but the market's still pumped. Okay, what I'm looking at is here on this daily time frame, which is a very critical move here. This move is bigger than you guys would think if you don't read the RSI, right? And let me explain why. I very much am a believer of the RSI, and it tells me a lot about weakness in the market and possible, very possible reversal signals. What I'm seeing here on the daily time frame was, as of yesterday's daily candle close, there was bearish divergence. Basically, that's when you have an equal or higher high on the price action charts. However, with an equal or lower high on the RSI, which we got yesterday, that mostly would signal a reversal, okay, or at least some type of a pullback. However, the bulls went ahead and bought this up and invalidated that reversal so far, that divergence signal so far. Very important to be keeping an eye out on this daily candle close. We got about 8 hours, and see if we actually do get a higher high on the RSI and actually invalidate this divergence signal. Let's come over here to the 3-day time frame. 3-day time frame here. If we actually get a 3-day candle close above the 3-day 50 SMA, which I've been talking about for the past quite some time now, that is basically resistance. If we actually get a candle close like this, that it's a solid candle close, tells me we have actually reclaimed this 3-day 50 SMA, 93,000. Of course, it's looking very good right now. weekly 21 SMA. If we actually end the week like this, yes, that's a reclaim of that weekly 21 SMA here. So very important, 3-day candle close, weekly candle close, looking for those solid candle closes tells me that the bulls have actually reclaimed those resistance as support. And of course, that daily candle close, looking for an invalidation of that bearish divergence signal on the RSI. Let's come over here to altcoins. Total 3, which is total altcoin market cap, excluding Ethereum. Okay. And what we are seeing here is still a continuation pattern or a continuation move out of this breakouts of this falling wedge pattern that I've been talking about, right? Which is a huge indicator for the altcoins, okay? This is because this is the total altcoin market cap, right? And it's less volatile than than any individual altcoin charts individually, separately. So what I'm seeing here is it has broken out of this huge downtrend that has been forming since January, okay? And price target out of this huge downtrend, this falling wedge is very a common pattern. It's going to be about 1.1 trillion. Now price targets are estimates only. It's still a very good idea to get an idea of where the price action could be going. But 1.1 trillion almost price target, which could do some pretty amazing pumps for some of these altcoins, as we have already been seeing. Daily 200 SMA coming up for the entire altcoin market, excluding Ethereum, which is currently at about 860 billion. Something to be keeping in mind of. If we actually reclaim that level, which I don't see why we would not, if Bitcoin holds above its own daily 200 SMA, which we are pretty far above it. Okay, let's just say. Let's come over here to ES1 exclamation mark, which is the S&P 500 mini futures. Very important to be paying attention to this as well for any possible dumps, because that could be a front-running signal for Bitcoin. It has very high correlation with the crypto markets. Currently, in my opinion, Bitcoin is well ahead of the S&P 500 in terms of the recovery we've had for the past couple of weeks, because S&P 500 is still not above its daily 200 SMA, but it is still looking bullish here right now. It has broken out of this falling wedge pattern. Price target about 5,800. It still hasn't reclaimed its daily 200 SMA yet, which is the orange line here. Something to be keeping in mind of. All right, let's go ahead and go to altcoins, see what could be happening here. We're going to be taking a look into, let's take a look into my subscribers' requests first today. It's going to be on Loopring, which is in a smaller altcoin, okay? I'm going to wait for this to pull up. I'm going to go ahead and walk you guys through how I look at altcoins from scratch. So this should be a pretty new chart here. I haven't done anything with this altcoin for maybe not even till back in like 2021. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. So just from scratch, okay. Of course, something to be keeping in mind of is Bitcoin. The Bitcoin charts will be more important than any altcoin chart here, because if Bitcoin starts dumping, you can expect most, if not all, altcoins are going to be following that. So very important that Bitcoin does not dump, and also got to be keeping in mind of what Bitcoin could be doing on the charts before any altcoin setups. Monthly time frame. This is a okay. So monthly time frame here. We are not in overbought territory. That tells me we are, we're not close to a overbought dump or to the top, right? that is a very important indicator, because if you guys actually take a look into 2020, 2021, look at the monthly RSI and tell me how long does the monthly RSI reading stay above in overbought territory for any altcoin that has data, right, before a dump happens. So right now we are not in overbought territory, so it doesn't seem, it's not at high risk levels. It doesn't mean that it can't go any further down, but it's just a lot closer to the bottom than the top. And we do have bullish divergence here on this monthly RSI. We have a lower low on the price action chart, however, with a equal or lower low on the monthly time frame. It doesn't have to be exact, so it's slightly lower low on the RSI, but I mean, to me, that is still very clear bullish divergence and indicative of a reversal. Let's take a look into what chart could be forming here. I think that could be a lot more apparent on the weekly time frame. All right, this is going to be a very common chart you guys have seen. A falling wedge pattern. Very close to that bottom trend line still, this price action. And you get a measure move out of this falling wedge pattern. This is on the weekly time frame, so it could take some time to play out. Now, falling wedges usually break to the upside, okay? And if it does, let's just pick a estimated breakout point. That will give us, if it breaks out by this point, that will give us a measure move of just right above 60 cents here. Of course, if it doesn't break out, then you're going to have to refresh the charts. That's why learning how to chart these patterns is very important, because if this pattern doesn't stay intact, then you got to know what to do, and that's basically to rechart it. So if I were you, I would start charting these patterns and just learning how to chart yourself, and eventually you will rely less on others and just be able to be self-sufficient. That is the name of the game if you want to stay in this market trading. All right, so this is what I'm seeing. Let's take a look into a lower time frame, see what this price action could be doing. All right, so nothing really apparent on the daily time frame. Let's go ahead to the lower time frame, even 4 hour. Could this be a breakout of a downtrend here? Looks like it. Let's see if we can pull a price target here for this 4 hour. No, this isn't. Let me see if we can actually form any kind of trend line here. We can actually. This is still a falling wedge pattern that is. Take the opening of the pattern for the measure move, because we still have 2 swings in here, even though that that breakout was just, it's kind of messy. To me, this is still a falling wedge pattern, and you can get a measure move of basically right back up to the resistance there at about 12 cents, which is, it's a pretty short target for a pretty small time frame. But that's basically what I'm seeing here from a very high level monthly time frame down to a 4 hour time frame. All right, let's take a look into Polkadot. So Polkadot had almost a 10% pump here today. Let's see what's going on with the coin on the chart here. Let's take a look into the monthly time frame. So monthly time frame, we had bullish divergence, very clear. You had a double bottom here, right? One bottom, second bottom, higher low on the RSI. And I'm telling you guys, that is a very simple but effective indicator. What's going on here on this weekly time frame? It looks like a breakout has already happened, but it hasn't gone too far from the breakout point. Right? Maybe on the 3-day time frame, I'm trying to get 3 connecting candles on the trend line to validate the trend line. Because that's what you need. You need 3 touching candles on a trend line in order to validate it. All right, here you go. On a 6 hour, it is a validated pattern here. Falling wedge pattern. So smaller time frame. Let's take a measure move, right? So this price action actually broke out, actually sank a little further, right? As you guys can see, than the breakout point. But now it's forming some type of rounded bottom. However, let's take a measure move out of this pattern here. Opening of the pattern. And right here is what it is. Measure move for Polkadot on the 6 hour time frame, about $10 price targets. Let's take a look into monthly time frame again, because I do want to because I do see a pattern there. Okay. So first of all, double bottom, right? Double bottom neckline is about $12, right? So this is what you're looking at. It's a falling wedge with a double bottom inside, which will, in my opinion, will increase the likelihood of a breakout of the falling wedge. Longer term target, this is the monthly time frame. Let's see if that still holds the next time we revisit Polkadot. That will give you a price target of about just right underneath $20. This is the monthly time frame. Let's take a look into Turbo. We are running low on time, so let's see if we can kind of speed through this. All right, this is a chart that is not too complete. I know that this coin has more data than that. Let's go to another chart. Because I've traded this coin before, I don't have it now, but I'm open to trading this. Let's take a look into a monthly time frame, not in overbought territory, so not near a possible overbought dump. So it's not close to a top. If we're using 2020, 2021 RSI readings on the monthly time frame as a reference point, let's see if I can quickly get a chart here on this weekly time frame for you guys. All right, a very similar theme here. Falling wedge pattern. Okay, very close. 3 candles touching. That is still valid in my books. It doesn't have to be super exact. Price target, based on this breakout point, price target is going to give you about 1 cent, just right above 1 cent here for Turbo. That this is the weekly time frame. This wraps up my update for today. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to drop like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.